I will just remind you all that we did say we were going to keep it crispy this week. Yeah? Hello and welcome to Everything's Fine, probably your weekly antidote to bad news. Broadcasting this week from a Britain so hot that middle-aged men have started saying, "Warm enough for you, is it?" while a nearby sparrow bursts into flames. Nigel Farage has probably turned the colour of a Cumberland sausage and is somewhere on GB News blaming the sun on net zero. How have we all been coping in the heat then, team?
Oh, it's been hot, isn't it? It's been hot. It's different, isn't it? It's different this type of heat, isn't it? It's more drier, isn't it? It's more dry, is what they say, isn't it?
No, I
Here-
thought it's the humid heat. It's the
Oh,
humid heat.
humid. Oh,
I don't
yeah. We
like.
get the humid heat.
Oh,
It's
that's
not.
the trouble here.
Yeah,
We get the humid heat, don't
yeah,
we?
yeah. It's not like on holiday, is it? It's drier. It's drier, isn't it?
It's suffocating here.
Yeah,
It's almost
yeah.
tropical.
Well, it was the other night. So the other
Mm.
night was classed as a tropical night because it didn't drop below 20 degrees
Was that
overnight.
last night?
That was Monday night. So
Oh,
that's
right,
classed
okay.
as a tropical night. So we did have a tropical night.
So there you go, and this is how you know you're listening to a British podcast because we just spent a few minutes talking about the weather. Well, it's been a funny old news week. America and Iran appear to be negotiating entirely different deals with each other. You know, like when two people leave a first date and one of them saying, "Well, no, that was the opposite of fun," and the other one says, "I think we're getting married." It's like that.
We've all been there, haven't we, Jim?
All been there. Donald J. Trump, the self-proclaimed master negotiator and author of The Art of the Deal, a book he famously didn't write, which may explain why every deal he makes sounds like it was assembled from fridge magnets during a head injury, says everything's going brilliantly.
I actually heard a bit on the radio today about the editor who helped him write it. She was from Vanity Fair, and she
They
wrote.
helped him write it.
She basically did write the book, but it was meant to be a bit of a laugh. She thought it was funny, but he obviously thought it was very serious. And then a couple of weeks later, they followed up about the fact that all his casinos had failed and his business empire was about to literally fall over. And she said they wrote an article about that. And then they went to a dinner and he poured a glass of wine over her. So don't do that again. So that's the art.
Wow.
There you go, that's the art of the deal right
That's the
there.
art of the deal.
No wonder Iran have responded in the diplomatic language of no, absolutely not. What is this clown talking about?
Mm.
I mean, it is extraordinary that Trump still presents himself as this Titan businessman, despite having the financial instincts of a man trying to pay for a Greggs with an expired Blockbuster card. Honestly, if Trump negotiated a hostage release, one side would get the hostages, the other side would get sanctions relief, and somehow Nigel Farage would emerge from a bush holding a commemorative pint glass and claiming Britain won. And speaking of national embarrassments pretending to be political movements, reform councillors continue leaving office at a rate normally associated with Soviet premiers or drummers from Spinal Tap. Every week, some more resign, get suspended, get thrown out of the party, or just seem genuinely surprised they're now expected to do something useful rather than just posting deranged social media posts about melting down immigrants. I'm not sure how many more actually went this week, but Lib Dem peer Mark Pack has it at about 28 on his excellent online tracker. And because I would hate to be accused of political bias, which other political party has been shedding councillors at an above average rate since the elections earlier this month?
I'm going to guess the Greens.
It is the Greens. Do you know how many have gone?
I don't. I'll have a guess though.
Go on then.
10.
Not quite. Close. Anyone else?
But they never report on the Greens. Like the Greens never get in the news, so I don't know how you know
The only
this.
political party who gets in the news of reform is 12.
Yeah.
10 of whom were only elected on May the 7th. There is a funny side to all of this, of course, but this is costing UK taxpayers hundreds of thousands of pounds to rerun the elections because two parties, well, one limited company and one political party, both wanted to upscale so quickly they didn't vet their candidates properly. Or, let's be honest, probably at all. And speaking of costing the UK taxpayer a shit ton of cash, and that's an imperial shit ton, I should mention, not a metric one. They're
Yes.
lighter, as we know. West Ham United have officially been relegated from the Premier League at a cost of £2.5 million to London taxpayers, proving once again that in Britain, if you fail badly enough, the taxpayer will bail you out. What do all these things have in common? Well, they all start from politicians striking awful deals and trying to make themselves look good while making everybody else's life a little bit worse. And that might be why none of the stories we're covering tonight have anything to do with politicians. Instead, we'll be talking about people who actually do good things for other people. But to give me a suitable link from politicians to good people, Stu's here with the story about a man pulling a car with his penis.
Well, not just with his penis, it's with his penis on fire.
What, his penis was on fire?
He set himself on fire, so
including his penis.
From
My
what I could
God.
make out. I mean, on the surface, this looks like a piece of weird news, doesn't it?
That's one way to describe it, Stu, yeah.
But,
And I've no idea what state his penis is in after pulling a car.
Well,
Not sure it's going to be much use for pulling anything else.
Well,
or even for pulling in general.
For sure. I mean, I dug a bit deeper.
Well, you would.
For sure. But actually, this is about this is a story of resilience, about the ability to do incredible things.
When your penis is on fire.
when you find a deeper sense of purpose. Isn't it? So when you find a deeper sense of purpose, immediately you think, I know what I'll do.
Yeah.
I'll get myself a French police car.
Yeah.
And then I'll drag it through a Yorkshire town with my penis on fire.
Well, we've all been there, haven't we, Stu?
So John Stevenson, he's I don't know, they always say this, don't they, how old they are? He's a 50-year-old painter.
Is that relevant?
Well, no, but they always say their age, don't
We
they?
like to know how old they are.
Painter and decorator from Spalding.
Old enough to know better.
Here's a little bit more background about the man with his penis on fire. His dad, apparently, of 3.
Doesn't need his penis
now,
anymore.
A former martial arts expert.
Right.
And a strong man. So there's your background. So this stunt took place in Halifax, West Yorkshire, and what we did was pulled a 2-ton French police car 40 metres using a rope attached to his manhood whilst it was on fire. You know, what a guy. What a guy.
But hang on, what was on fire?
Well, he set light to himself. I think he's just generally
He set a light to himself, like not the car.
No, he set light to himself, put like lighter fluid on him.
So the car wasn't on fire.
Car's not on fire. He's on fire.
He's on fire.
His penis is
It's on fire.
That might have been a bit far on that, but his penis is attached to a rope, and then he's pulling the French police car 40 meters. So you know that says a lot about him, doesn't it? To be able to tie a big rope around.
What did the French police have to say about it?
Well, it's nothing to do with the French. In Halifax,
they're not in the car.
No, they're not. There's no police people.
Finders keepers.
Yeah, did they send a police car for this stunt?
Well, look,
sitting there going, mon Dieu.
I'll try and give you a bit more info if I can.
A few months.
So apparently he doused himself. Yeah, he did. He doused himself in lighter fuel, and then stepped into the flames. So he was on fire. He did say, to be fair, the wind was against him that day, and so therefore he did have to have a couple of attempts. He didn't do it first time because it was a bit windy.
I'm a bit disappointed now.
Yeah. John did go on to say, I won't lie, it did hurt quite a bit. So
he didn't die?
He didn't die. No, he just said...
He's just got a bit of a sore willy.
He said it did hurt quite a bit. But what he did go on to say, he described his pain in a way that reveals a remarkable level of mental fortitude. His pain was not an end point. It was a distraction to be overcome. That's what he said.
He could have overcome it by not setting fire to himself, tying a rope to his penis.
Isn't it enough?
Out the police car.
I mean, John did then go and say, my mind was focused on pulling the police car with my manhood whilst being on fire, but I just ploughed on, and he said he pulled this off for about 40 metres, approximately. Ploughing on is a simple phrase, isn't it?
Is there any point in the story that explains why?
Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay. Be
Ploughing
patient.
on.
We'll get there just a little quicker.
Ploughing on. It's a simple phrase, isn't it? In a world where we often feel overwhelmed by the smallest of challenges, John's ability to focus his mind, to channel pain, cold, wind, and physical resistance into a singular determined effort, I think you'll agree, is a lesson in focus and psychological resilience. So, you're probably all thinking, and you have asked this already, haven't you? Why? Why would you do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why,
Yeah.
John Thomas? Why?
Why tie a police car to your penis and drag it down the road in Halifax whilst on fire? Well,
why go to Halifax at all?
well, I'll tell you, shall I? Because this isn't John's first rodeo. He's actually in the past pulled cars.
Sounds like he's misunderstood what a rodeo is.
No. Previously, John, who likes a challenge, he has pulled cars with his testicles in the past. I don't know if that was in Halifax.
Do you not know he can use his hands for this?
I don't know. So
Nobody told
I don't
me.
know if he did that in Warrington. I'm not sure. What he's also done, John, he's pulled a car while his head was on fire, and he's the world record holder for reeling off 300 punches in 30 seconds whilst holding weights. This is a man who clearly likes a test, doesn't he? He did then go on to say, some people said they think I'm a bit mad, and on some level, he said maybe I am.
Just on some level.
Back level with his testicles, I'd suggest.
But John was raising awareness for prostate cancer and bullying in schools. He was raising money for Ruddus Retreat in Huddersfield, which provides holidays for families and children with cancer. So children with cancer.
Kingsley Barrowman should have gone in with this.
So he got his John Thomas out for the children with the cancer. What he did go on to say, the most protective factor for mental health and mental well-being is having a sense of purpose. That's why he does these things, because you've got to have a sense of purpose, haven't you? Pulling cars with your testicles, setting your head on fire, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I mean, at least someone's doing it, you know.
I mean, John said
Someone's got, haven't they?
what he's done is turned his madness into a mission. He said he's found a positive outlet for his energy and a powerful way to make a difference. John then went on to say, we all face loads, don't we? We all face loads that sometimes feel too heavy to pull.
I feel like he doesn't actually have enough to face.
And he says we all face internal fires, don't we? That threaten to consume our focus. Set yourself alight, get your knob out, pull a French police car. I think what John's story does teach us is that mental health isn't just about the absence of problems, is it? It's about the presence of resilience and the pursuit of a meaningful why not. If
what it teaches?
Teaches me that. Yeah. If a man can find the focus to pull a car with his penis while set ablaze, driven by the memory of bullying, kids with cancer, and the hope of helping families find a retreat, then, God damn it, perhaps we can too.
Excellent, thanks, Stu. Now, it's just occurred to me that Shelley's brought a story about Donald Trump, which I should really have gone into off of the intro, but I think it's okay because we can use the penis link again as we move from one bell end to another.
Oh, see what you did there.
What's he been up to this week, and what are other Americans doing about it, Shelley?
How am I supposed to follow that? Like, have I got to now set my fanny on fire or something?
If you think that will help.
I mean, it's taken quite the turn, this podcast, isn't it? But,
something like that.
I'm all in. Knock yourself out, Shelley. Go for it.
Okay.
Got any lighter fluid?
Shelley's flaming flange will finish that up.
Well, before I start about Donald Trump, it has to be a little bit political, doesn't it, really? Because it is about trans rights. So it is a little bit hard to ignore what had gone on with the new draft of the Equality and Human Rights Act following the Supreme Court ruling that sex can only refer to biological sex. So this is kind of what leads into the story, because it does follow on to what's happening in America as well. What seems like quite a massive step backwards to me, and not just to me, to lots and lots of other people. The new guidelines state that transgender people will no longer be able to use single sex spaces of their assigned gender, and they are no longer be able to take part in the sports of their assigned gender. But to make it even more confusing, they have said that trans people will still be protected from discrimination because of gender reassignment. Gemma, your face is expressing like
I'm very confused right now.
So, can you give us a practical example of how that works, Shay?
well, I can't.
That's going to
Because
be a fun.
there actually
There's no
isn't
case law yet, is there?
there isn't a practical example of how this is actually going to work.
So can a trans person with gender reassignment can they play for a men's football team?
Only if they were born biologically male.
What about if they've had gender reassignment?
No, not anymore.
But I thought we weren't allowed to discriminate.
I know. Also, the other thing that's quite interesting about this, if you're going to change a law that will result in a negative impact on a marginalised group, and the government have acknowledged that there will be negative impact on the trans community, do you feel that the law change should be backed by data and facts?
Well, and what these days probably not. No, it's all on gut instinct and the mob, isn't it?
But do you feel that perhaps it should be, though?
Well, it's worth having a look at, isn't it? As
Yeah.
we're here.
Do you want to know what the data and the facts are that have been used to make these changes?
Well, the thing
Go
is,
on
you can prove anything with facts, right?
Well, you could if they existed. They actually don't. There is no. I mean, okay, if it's out there, please someone tell me where it is.
Sure.
Because I actually spent a couple of hours running searches trying to find the safety data that
Yes.
is what has led into this, to say, you know, because it's come from the thing saying women's spaces should be for women only,
Yeah.
for women's safety. But there's no data that suggests that transgender people in these spaces has ever been a problem. So apparently the Office of National Statistics have never tracked this. They say when they've done like crime surveys, they've recorded people's gender or gender identity, say the criminal or the victim of the crime, but they've not actually collated any data on whether there is a prevalence of transgender people committing crimes, and or whether those crimes are from transgender people invading those spaces. The other interesting thing, well, it wasn't that interesting. This is really, really uninteresting. The only thing I found was, so in 2020, there was a government paper looking into a Swedish study of the likeliness of crimes to be committed by trans people. But in this, the author kept saying all the time they had to end up splitting it because it was over kind of a few decades. And then in it, they had to split it into the fact that people who were in the later decades, which was sort of from the 80s into the 90s, were less likely to commit crimes because they had access to gender affirming care. So there was nothing in this to suggest that there is any safety issues. And also, I mean, apart from the fact that transgender people also are not a new thing, as this paper has highlighted as well. Transgender people have been walking around minding their own business for centuries, in fact, until now. I think the other thing that also came out of it, which is really massively, massively important for transgender people, that all crime data and highlighted and collected, was that transgender people were more likely to be the victim of a violent crime than other groups as well. So perhaps we should stop them going into those spaces for their own safety. I don't know, really.
Yeah, maybe that was the thinking behind it, Shelley.
Yeah,
Maybe
perhaps.
big-hearted lawmakers were trying
Yeah,
to protect them
I
from the
think
rest of us.
it did make me think about, though, what law would you come up with if you didn't have to use data and facts, you just got to go with your feelings?
Could I have some sort of, no dickheads law?
Yeah, I mean, I've had one that
So the
if you're,
dickheads can't go into public places or
yeah,
express opinions.
that would be a
You
good
do
one,
that?
wouldn't
How'd you
it?
define a dickhead?
Well, the nice thing is because I'm not, a lawmaker as such, I don't really have to.
Okay, you just
Yeah,
come up with
Yeah,
it. Okay.
you don't have to. It can just be what you decide.
this is
I mean,
I'm not into facts, Stu. It's just opinions now.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's all opinions. That's fine.
Gut instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that if you're using a zebra crossing, but you verge off the zebra crossing just slightly, people should be allowed to then run you over, even if you only put like 1 foot off the zebra crossing.
Could be rough on blind people.
Yeah.
What I would do is after 11 o'clock each night, you can drink and drive until 5 a.m. But if you do, there's no emergency services or anything. It's just the Wild West.
Oh, and then it also, if you go out on the roads not drinking and driving and get into an accident with someone who
That's at
drinks
your
and drives,
risk.
that's your own responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds dangerous, but I'll bring that in.
I think so. Yeah, I think we could perhaps take these to our local MPs and see what they say.
Yeah. Have you got one, Gemma, like free tea and toast for under 25s, that sort of thing?
Oh, lovely.
Delivered to your house.
Can we make it a more specific age range though that includes us and perhaps?
Okay.
I mean, I feel like the under 25s they get quite a good
Get
deal.
loads of stuff.
Student discounts, all that shizzle. I think we should have something for the
Yeah.
Free,
middle-aged folk.
Yeah, I
free
mean,
pocket cheese for anyone called Gemma.
yeah. I mean, the under 25s, they don't know they're born, do they? The under 25s, they got it all, didn't they?
They have it all. Also, I'd like to create some law
Oh,
about
they have it easy.
there should be laws against bad margarita cocktails.
Oh, right. Okay. So you will just get shut down if you make a bad
You
margarita.
make a bad margarita or a bad mojito.
Yeah.
In fact, generally bad cocktails. If you make bad cocktails, you lose your license.
There you go, Shelley. There's some laws for you.
Oh yeah,
Thank
and I'll make
Thank
football
you.
illegal as well while I'm about
Football's banned, illegal.
Yeah. So that's that's going to be the draft put in front of Parliament. So
brilliant. Well done.
Yeah.
So where are we going with this, Shelley?
This big beautiful bill.
I'm getting just to make it a little bit more unnerving though.
Okay.
To me, really went down quite a rabbit hole with this. It was worth looking at where all of the stuff came from. So I started trying to look at, like the kind of the charities that are, well, the organizations that are pushing for all this, was trying to find out where the funding for it was coming from. And the fund, well, kind of. So there's an organization called AIDS Map, and they called this out back in 2021, saying there's a significant amount of money flowing into Europe from its own countries, but also from the US and Russia, who have been pulled up for a few times for interfering with European politics. And the same funding that's going into the anti-trans organizations is also going to stand against safe abortion and contraception, other LGBT rights, and sex education. That's reassuring, isn't it? But anyway,
I wish I was surprised by that, but unfortunately I'm not.
So in the US, though, who are many, many years ahead with the plan of turning the states into Gilead, but Vermont has decided that it's not going to take it. And the state lawmakers have passed the first of its kind of bill that is expanding on the protections for transgender people in prison, with a clear response that's basically standing against Donald Trump. And this was everybody basically, like, there was sweeping votes in the favor of this. Everybody was, we're going to stand against this, and this is where we're going to start. So they have acknowledged with this new legislation that incarcerated trans people are at higher risk of violence, abuse, harassment, and sexual violence. So this is then going to include in prisons. They're now going to have to start training the staff in prisons to make the environment safer for them, and they have to actually be trained in how to support people, and they have to allow people to sort of live, within their assigned gender identity. But it's also going to allow people to be moved to safer facilities that align with their gender identity as well, if needed. It's a shame that trans people will end up being safer in prison than in their own communities, I think, but it does go to show that there is power to push back. And if you think about how far ahead the US are with going down this road at the moment, then it's, to me, that is reassuring that at least people are starting to kind of push against it, and they're standing up and saying no.
Excellent. Great news from the people of Vermont. Thank you, Shelley. Now, obviously, we could spend all night mocking and vilifying the world's politicians. It's very easy to do.
And coming up with our own laws.
And coming up with our own laws. But there are some administrations in the world that are doing some decent things. I'd like to return to one of our recurring themes on this podcast, which is China getting on with doing climate stuff while half the Western world is still staring in bewilderment at America. You probably now believe that wind turbines turn people gay or something. We've covered this a few times now. Every few months, there's another report where China have built another 12 million solar panels, while Britain's busy scratching its head over a consultation about a bypass. And they're at it again this week. There's fresh evidence that China's emissions cuts are happening even faster than expected. According to Bloomberg's NEF's latest new energy outlook, China is now on track to cut emissions by 17% this decade from their 2023 peak, and that's substantially better than the reductions they originally promised. Now, as we've mentioned before, it's not driven by any sort of environmental idealism, it's all driven by economics. The report basically says repeated global energy crisis, including the Iran war, have convinced countries that maybe basing your entire economy on importing expensive dinosaur juice from unstable regions isn't the galaxy brain strategy everyone thought it was. So nations are accelerating renewables because solar panels are so far too woke to suddenly invade neighbouring countries. And China has gone absolutely feral for electricity. The report says electricity is already becoming the dominant form of energy there, while coal's share of power generation is expected to collapse over the next couple of decades. You've got to hand it to China, haven't you? Every time you look away, they've built another high-speed rail line or a battery factory or what appears to be a solar farm visible from Neptune. And we could do that here, couldn't we? Except, of course, if some parish council in Surrey sees a wind turbine, they immediately act like the tripods from War of the Worlds have landed.
I think good news, though, from our country, 52% is now renewable, though. So we are pushing towards that way. And it makes sense, doesn't it? It's smart by the Chinese. It's energy security, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Oh, sorry. I was also going to say, I think that eventually wind turbines will be seen as desirable real estate, like windmills.
I think it'd be hard pushed to live in one, shouldn't you?
You'd have to just be really tall and skinny.
Yeah, I suppose you could sort of build off the back of it, maybe.
Your Trumps of the world and your Farage, the far right, it's almost like they're being funded by the oil companies to rally against green energy.
It's a very cynical attitude, if you don't mind me saying, Stu. But I think there's quite a funny side to all this. And for quite a lot of years, certain politicians told us that environmental policies would destroy the economy. And now the countries investing hardest in clean energy are increasingly protecting themselves from volatile fossil fuel prices and dominating futures industries. So maybe just yelling drill, baby, drill isn't actually an economic strategy.
Well, it is if you get them rich on the back of it.
Yeah, it's for a very small amount of people, I suppose.
Absolutely. That's brilliant. good stuff.
Well, it is, but the report does come with one quick reality check, though, which I should mention. Bloomberg says limiting warming to the ideal 1.5 degrees target is probably no longer achievable.
Sure.
But they still think there is a credible pathway to staying below 2 degrees if countries move fast enough. So the situation's still alarming, but perhaps not Mad Max alarming. So, that's something, isn't it? And there's also something objectively hilarious about the contrast between countries right now. China's building giant renewable infrastructure at terrifying speed, while Donald Trump is standing in front of coal miners promising to bring back 1954. And even funnier, some of the loudest anti-green politicians still behave as though solar power is some sort of communist plot. It really wouldn't surprise me to see Nigel Farage reciting the Magna Carta at a battery storage facility. But anyway, that's just a little reminder for us all. Progress is busy happening. Humanity may yet accidentally save itself through a mixture of engineering panic and making fossil fuels so expensive that even billionaires start looking at sunlight differently. That's what China have been up to. The EU have also been doing some good stuff. Gemma, tell us what they've been up to.
Well, surprisingly, it's not about trains. And even more surprisingly, as it's coming from me, it's not cheese-based either. No, my friend.
It's not about trains, it's not about cheese, is it?
What on earth could it be about? My friend who I went to that proper France with last November has recently been in France and sent me a picture of one of the cheese chugging cheeses while she was there, just to
did she go on the train?
She did go on the train, but not with the
cheese. It is about train and cheeses.
Well, she only went on the Eurotunnel, so that's not really
still a train.
Okay, but that's not the story. That was just.
Oh, isn't it? Oh, sorry.
I apologise. The cheese.
Just leave it, Jim. Leave it.
Leave it, because we're getting rid of the crisp is being left behind. The European Parliament.
Crisps are no good for cheese anyway. You want crackers, really.
You want crackers, that's true.
You've got some there, haven't you? So
yeah, I have. The crusty bread's even better though, isn't it?
Are you
what's on with it anyway?
Are you raw dogging those crackers, Gemma?
I'm not going to answer that question.
I actually don't know what raw dogging means.
Well,
I wish I hadn't asked now.
I think Stu should explain.
As soon as the words left my mouth, I thought, oh, for God's sake, Shelley.
Carry on, Gemma.
Are you sure you would like to explain to Shelley what raw dogging is, Stu? Because I'm prepared to pause.
Let's take that offline, shall we?
No, I would really like to sleep tonight, so it's okay if you could just carry on with your story.
So, not train-based.
What have the EU been up to?
So not train-based, not cheese-based. The European Parliament has overwhelmingly approved the bloc's first ever unified rules on animal welfare for cats and dogs, and it's a big deal.
Yay! Yay!
I know, right? According to the European Parliament's official record, the vote wasn't even close. 558 in favour, 35 against, and 52 abstentions. The European Council has already given it the thumbs up, so the law is now on the books and will apply to breeders and organisations selling or adopting animals after a 4-year transition period. At the heart of the legislation is a simple idea: stop breeding animals in ways that harm them. The law bans breeding practices that create physical deformities or exaggerated traits, the kind that might look cute on Insta but leave the animal struggling to breathe, walk, or, live comfortably.
Oh, like pugs.
Yep. The Parliament's text specifically warns that marketing-driven breeding has led to excessive conformational traits in some dogs and cats, and breeders must now exclude those animals from breeding programs. Now, the law doesn't name specific breeds, but as you've said, Shelley, experts note that this could affect breeds like the pug, the French bulldog, and certain flat-faced cat breeds, all of which are known to suffer from chronic health issues linked to their appearance. Whether these breeds become effectively impossible to breed legally in the EU will likely be decided in court cases over the next decade. The rules also clamp down on inbreeding, banning mating between first-order relatives and those once removed. Hybrid.
No. So it's all right for royalty, but it's not all right for animals.
Yeah.
Okay, not in the EU, no.
But it's kind of not all right, like because it is inbreeding, and we've all seen The Hills Have Eyes, haven't we?
And indeed, we've seen the royals.
There's royals up in their hills.
It's a nice
You
sort
ever
of
heard God Save the King played on a banjo? It's a spine.
Stu, make it happen, pretty please.
Can.
Oh, the wonders of AI.
Oh yeah, no. Stu will grab his banjo tonight
I've
and
got,
work it out.
got an accordion. I
I've
can't
got a
play it.
recorder.
I've got an accordion which I bought from an auction. I can't play it.
Why did you buy it?
Oh, I just thought it'd be good fun. So I often have a squeeze going around the front room of an
Excellent.
evening.
You're getting very close to punching me in the face
Yeah,
doing that.
yeah.
In a way that you would claim is accidental.
It's usually you threatening that.
Anyway, sorry, Gemma, yes.
It's fine, I'm used to it now.
Carry on.
Hybridizing domestic pets with wild species, also out.
Hypergizing.
Hybridizing.
We managed to get one word in before she got interrupted.
Sorry, yeah. Hybridizing.
Also out, though. Also out. So if anyone was planning to breed a lynx cat dog thing, Europe says no.
I've got a question. I haven't got any dogs,
I'm not scared.
but I was in the park the other day and this owner had a really little dog and a big tall dog. Now, can little dogs have sex with big tall dogs? And if they do, how do they reach?
I think, well, big tall dogs can lay down, can't they? Like they're not like giraffes.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's good. I just had these visions of like these little step
They have
ladders
to
you
have
could
a
buy,
little, they've
little
got
sex
a little, like, dragging
steps,
ladder.
small
Yes.
dogs sex steps.
You've never seen those on sale down at the pet shop?
I was sitting in the park just watching these,
ladder.
sitting there watching these dogs and just thinking, how does this work?
Carry on, please, Gemma.
I would have thought, though, that surely a small dog sex swing would be safer than small dog
Yeah.
sex steps.
And more fun.
But do small dogs actually have sex with big dogs, or do the big dogs have sex with small dogs, or do they find dogs of their own size?
You know what? I think this is a question for Gemini co-pilot.
Yeah,
ChatGPT.
I'll check it later.
When you said Gemini, I thought you meant you and me.
Yeah, oh, Gemini. Yeah.
There's some homework
Oh, no,
for you.
Shelley, no.
apparently. Shelley's just volunteered you.
I am
then,
not. Yeah.
somebody told me if dogs have sex, they get stuck together. Have you heard this?
Yeah,
They're
because
called screw penises.
yeah, they do. They actually turn around and face the other way as well, because it was actually something they developed from being in the wild, so that they didn't have their backs to predators. They could see all the way around.
That's a good idea. But cats have got this special sort of spiked penis. I don't know if you
didn't know that. I've heard other creatures having like a barbed penis, but I didn't know cats.
Barbed penis. That's probably a better terminology.
Barbed, yeah.
Barbed spiked penis. Carry on.
The law goes beyond breeding. It tackles the murky world of how cats and dogs enter the EU market, from unregulated breeders outside the bloc to sellers posing as private individuals to animals taken in from places where welfare standards weren't followed. The new rules require proper welfare checks across all these channels. To define welfare, the EU has adopted the 5 domains model: nutrition, environment, health, behaviour and mental state. The goal isn't just to prevent suffering, it's to ensure animals have enriching positive lives. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, the US remains a patchwork. The USDA's Animal Welfare Act sets some federal standards, but states vary wildly. 22 states even have laws preventing breed-specific legislation, usually to protect breeds labelled dangerous, though the debate around that is spirited. And what about the UK? Well, since we're no longer in the EU, these rules won't automatically apply here. The UK does have its own animal welfare legislation, and there's been growing pressure from vets and charities to crack down on harmful breeding practices, specifically for flat-faced dogs. But while Europe is rolling out sweeping, unified protections, the UK is still, let's say, reviewing frameworks, which is Westminster's speak for "we'll get to it eventually." Overall, This is genuinely positive step for animal welfare. It's a rare moment where politics, science and compassion line up, and the result is a future where pets across Europe can breathe easier, live healthier and enjoy lives shaped by care rather than aesthetics.
Thank you, Gemma, for a good story there. I'm intrigued by the 38 people who decided to vote in favour of animal cruelty, but there we are. And well done to that of coping with a number of rude interruptions. Okay, good. I've got some good news here for people who would like to cope with the issue of rude work email, or actually just work in general, by being there less. So,
Yeah.
researchers in Australia have found the 4-day week works. Devastating news for LinkedIn influencers, middle managers, and whatever Victorian ghost invented the phrase, if you've got time to lean, you've got time to clean. A new Australian study looked at 15 companies trialing so-called 100-80-100 model. That sounds like Nigel Farage's blood pressure when he hears this bit of woke nonsense. If you've not heard it before, by the way, the idea is very simple. Workers get 100% of their pay for 80% of the hours while maintaining 100% of their output. And before any Daily Telegraph columnist spontaneously combusts into a cloud of pensioner rage, the results were genuinely impressive. Almost half the companies said productivity actually increased. The rest said productivity stayed the same. So crucially, no one got less done despite working fewer hours. So could it be that forcing humans to sit under fluorescent lighting till 5:30 on a Friday was never actually the secret to capitalism after all? The results suggest most office jobs can probably be completed in 4 days. If that colleague, you know who they are, and if you don't, it's you. Stop scheduling meetings called things like quick touch base realignment session. Corporate meetings are weird things, so aren't they? That one locally based national insurance company that I used to work for, I won't name names, but we had a meeting about meetings. So I totally know why the 4-day week works. The study found actually that all but one company kept the 4-day week afterwards as well. I'm guessing the one company who didn't was probably run by a bloke who says things like, work is its own reward, whilst owning 3 buy-to-lets and a boat called Fiscal Responsibility.
And we work hard and play hard.
Researchers also said that shorter week helped reduce burnout, which sounds pretty useful to me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how sustainable it is to keep assuming humans are rechargeable somehow. You're expected to answer emails at 10 p.m, attend wellness webinars during lunch, and somehow remain passionate about leveraging synergies, despite your soul leaving your body during a particularly mind-destroying PowerPoint transition in 2017. And of course, AI could make this even more achievable. If the robots are making us more productive, the logical outcome would be that humans work less. Although, if Elon Musk hears that sentence, he'll probably, I don't know, try to make children work weekends in a lithium mine on Mars. I think the whole thing's genuinely encouraging. We spent decades being told the economy would collapse if people weren't trapped in offices 5 days a week, pretending to update spreadsheets while secretly browsing social media. And now every study keeps coming back with the same finding. Happier workers are actually better workers. Unsurprising, probably even bleeding obvious, but I reckon that hearing someone might experience some joy in their life could make any number of reform councillors faint into their copy of the Daily Express. So working less can be good for us, might help us all to stop feeling like aging withered husks, but until the 4-day working week comes to all of us, we need alternatives, and as luck would have it, Gemma's found one.
Yeah,
Yes.
just before you jump in there, Jem, there's a few things about that.
They better be crispy things, Stu.
We don't have time, but go on.
So the reason certain politicians and certain business people want us in the office is because they own the property,
Yes.
and they're losing out. They're losing out on rents.
I heard that it's because a lot of the property developers, they've got all these buildings sitting empty.
Yeah, they've got these buildings sitting empty. But also the other thing is, by us not being there, we're kind of, destroying the high streets as well, aren't we? Like the little sandwich shops and so on. They're going to lose all the trade for us not being there. So whilst there's advantages to us, there are disadvantages to commerce, I guess. Those stats add up because in my old organisation, we were actually trialing that in a couple of sites and they came out the same results. But I think there's a thing about employers not wanting to give you the same money for working less hours. I think there's a feeling they feel they're losing out.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if they're doing it properly, they're not.
Yeah.
What it does mean is that they do have to bother actually managing performance and
Yeah.
keeping an eye on
Well,
people. In
yeah.
other words,
Yeah.
doing their job.
Yeah.
And that's a real
Yeah.
hassle for them. So they'd rather
Yeah.
not do that. And of course, Nigel Farage would love to end that if he gets into number 10. It's one of the first things he said he wants to get rid of.
And I think the well-being side, you know, when companies tick that box, I don't want a pizza at lunchtime. I don't. Oh, look, everyone, we've got some pizzas in. A, I don't really like eating during the day. B, I don't really want to sit there eating a pizza with you. And C, just that's not good enough.
I think Stu's the problem at his workplace as well.
How about give me a pay increase rather than a few slices of some sloppy margarita? Anyway, carry on, Gemma.
Here's some good news. Your favourite artsy hobby might quietly be turning back the clock. A brand new study from University College London has found that regularly engaging in arts and cultural activities, things like reading, listening to music, visiting museums, crafting, painting, or going to a gallery, is linked to a slower pace of biological ageing. And not just a tiny bit slower. We're talking effects on par with exercise. Researchers analysed data from over 3,500 adults in the UK, combining survey responses with blood tests that measure biological age using epigenetic clocks, tools that look at chemical changes to DNA as we age. These clocks don't care how many birthdays you've had, they measure how old your body actually seems at the cellular level. And the results? They're the kind of news that makes you want to pick up a paintbrush immediately. People who took part in arts activities at least once a week were aging 4% more slowly than those who rarely engaged, the same difference seen between people who exercise weekly and those who don't exercise at all. Even modest engagement helped. 3 times a year was equal to about 2% slower aging, and monthly about 3% slower aging. And here's a fun twist. In one of the biological age tests, people who engaged in arts weekly were on average a full year younger biologically than those who rarely did, which actually beats the half-year advantage seen in weekly exercises. The benefits were strongest for adults over 40, and they held up even after accounting for things like BMI, smoking, education, and income. In other words, this isn't just a healthy people do healthy things effect. The arts themselves seem to be doing something meaningful. So what's going on? Lead author Professor Daisy Fancourt explains that different arts activities offer different ingredients: physical, cognitive, emotional, and social stimulation, all of which can support healthier aging. Think of it like cross-training, but for your brain, your stress levels, and your sense of connection. Senior author Fifi Boo adds that this is the first evidence linking arts engagement directly to a slower pace of biological aging, building on earlier research showing that arts activities can reduce stress, lower inflammation, and improve cardiovascular health. And yes, this means your weekly choir rehearsal, your museum wanderings, your book club binges, your crafting nights, they're not just fun. They're part of a legitimate, measurable, health-promoting lifestyle. So keep doing the things that make your soul feel good. Your cells are loving it too. Whether it's music, museums, novels, knitting, or noodling around with watercolours, your creative life isn't just enriching your days. It might actually be adding healthier years to them. So go forth and make something beautiful.
Oh, that's nice.
I heard that on the radio the other day. It's meaningful, isn't it? Art's good for you. Culture's good
It's good
for you.
for you.
Okay, well, that's where we'll leave it for this week's episode of Everything's Fine, Probably. Your weekly reminder that humanity may yet survive entirely through spite, solar panels, and Australians refusing to work Fridays. If you enjoyed the show, please do all the algorithm things like subscribe, share, leave us a review, tell your friends, tell your enemies, whisper our names into the vents at work like a deranged office phantom. Because apparently that's how success works now. Nobody discovers content organically anymore. You've got to feed the algorithm like it's some ancient volcano god demanding sacrifices of engagement metrics. Seriously though, please do spread the word, because independent podcasts like this survive entirely on listener support and, of course, caffeine-based illusion. Oh, so before we go, can we just take a moment to appreciate the absolutely spectacular failure of the enhanced games this week? For anyone who missed it, this was a new sporting event where athletes were allowed to openly take performance-enhancing drugs in order to supposedly smash world records and redefine human potential. Did you see it? It's what happens when sport is reinvented by a crypto bro using... Sorry. It's what happens when sport is reinvented by a crypto bro during a ketamine relapse in Dubai. They promise superhero humans, they promise the future, they promise science, and after pumping athletes full of enough substances to tranquilize a medium-sized horse, they managed one unofficial world record.
Yeah.
Even funnier, several events were won by athletes who weren't even doping.
Yeah, the swimming, the clean guy. Yeah,
Won it, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the organisers, or actually, let's be honest, the sponsors who put this on to say, get our products because they'll make you world champions. All they've really shown is that being a great athlete requires slightly more than injecting yourself with experimental peptides named, I don't know, rejected Transformers villains. At one point, athletes were reportedly so underwhelming that Reddit users started asking whether local school sports days were actually more competitive. So I think the greatest achievement of the enhanced games may have been accidentally proving that talent, training and discipline matter more than whatever Elon Musk thinks should happen to the human bloodstream. So that's an uplifting way to end tonight. Despite every Silicon Valley lunatic trying to optimize humanity into a collection of protein shapes and biometric data, ordinary humans remain stubbornly weird and complicated. Although I guarantee somewhere Donald Trump is now trying to launch his own version called the Enhanced Deals, where businessmen take HDGH and bankrupt casinos faster. So thank you for listening. Thanks to Gemma, Shelley and Stu. We'll be back next week with more good news, more chaos, probably some more reform councillors disappearing under mysterious circumstances. Until then, stay hopeful, stay kind, and remember that everything's fine. Probably.
Fifi boo.